Hey, how you doing? I'm gonna take a little break from reality here, I guess, and take a run down memory lane with my inner child here. So let's do this here. I'll get back to regular programming later on, but just kind of wanted to let you know who's showing you all these videos. Me and my inner child, right? So let's do this. This is my version of the CGI. This is our Space Force, obviously, hard at work in the outer realms. And this is where they hang out at. this is a space place here. And if you want to, you can even park cattywampus, right? I mean, because they tell me that out there's no gravity. I haven't been there, so I can't really give you an honest opinion about it. I just have to take their word for it, right? So anyway, they tell me also it's an electric universe. So I mean, gadzooks, where do you plug this thing in at, right? Oh, jeez. Yep. Watch out. Here we got a couple guys and then an electric orb. And I think they live someplace like this here, probably. I mean, wouldn't that be cool? You could just like kind of be out here in this dimension or something and just kind of wander into there. And there would be like a whole different dimension in there. You could like hang out, play around in and stuff. You know what I mean? And it, oh, geez, what do we got here? Mine on the mind, I guess, right? And here we got an electric fuzzball full of UFOs. You never know what can be in them orbs, right? Or how big they are on the inside, I guess, from what I hear. And sometimes I just like to doodle around and not actually finish artwork because then it becomes like work, you know what I'm saying? Just like to doodle around. Sometimes I get tied in a knot. So anyway, it's just something to do, you know. It's kind of like what I like to do, and because of that, you hardly ever get paid to do artwork. I'm often left holding the bag, right? Anyway, now this year was back when I just all I had was a cell phone. I didn't even have a computer. My son had a computer. I got him a computer, but I didn't have one. And I was taking images with my cell phone, and I couldn't really see what they were. So um, I just sat around and kind of try to draw images of what I thought they might actually look like. I'll have to show those to you sometime. Um, the actual images that generated or spurred these sketches sometime I get around to it. I couldn't figure out what they were. Still can't actually. And I like to use crayons too, you know, to work with because I got real bad allergies or whatever you call it, like chemical sensitivity. I mean, everything just really wipes me out. And so I try to use things that are not really toxic because I just got this here apartment to be in, and I can't get away from the smells of you know, like linseed oil and stuff like that. It's all right to breathe it for a while, but then it starts making me sick, you know. This here's one of the doctors that worked on Tyler when he dropped his motorcycle on his leg. I'm not laughing at that. I'm just because that's not really a doctor. And there's more crayon stuff here. And David Adair, that really smart rocket scientist guy, he said one time that he approached a machine or a ship or something like that, and he was like crawling around on it, and he said it was alive, uh, it just kind of really got my imagination going. I was like, that's kind of interesting. So I thought, well, if you had an alive flying saucer kind of guy that you could fly around in, right? Then you'd have to plug it in someplace, so there could be like a planet or something like that, someplace where you could just like land and, charge up your flying saucer like they do cell phones. And then when I did get a camera and I started, taking photographs and stuff, it kind of gave me some newer ideas about designs and life forms and stuff like that. Because I mean, if you was to take like a DNA blob or something like that and put it in what I guess we call metamaterial, and it had a DNA code in it and some kind of thinking ability, it could reshape itself, right? I mean, if you were, in a machine that was completely and totally alive, and it would respond to you and your thoughts, you could change its shape, I guess. This is not theory, this is fact. Right? Okay, just like this here. This is this here guy is getting ready to make a crop circle down here, right? And I don't know if I ever got abducted before. It kind of sounds like it, doesn't it? But this painting is acrylic on hardboard, and I know it got abducted because I can't find it anywhere. So this here, I was working at a sign shop some years ago, and this is what they call a mechanical for a silk screen to be printed. And you got to meticulously take a X-Acto knife and cut out everything that you want printed, like the black part. That's been cut out and taken off of there, and then the rest of it gets exposed to light, and then you use it to silk screen with. So I was working there at that sign shop doing stuff like that. That's where I learned how to pinstripe and letter. Actually, I learned to pinstripe and letter from some other guy that was just freaking incredible at it. I mean, and he lives around here somewhere, but I mean, he was. My brother had a body shop that they worked on semis. That's all they painted was semis. And I walked in there one day. Of course, I was back in the grunt room, sanding and grinding on stuff and breathing all that nasty crap. And he's standing out there in the cool bay on a finished, shiny, painted truck, and he's pinstriping this thing. And I stood there watching him, and it looked like he was just pulling a piece of spaghetti around on the side of the truck. And I was like, daggone, man. He's making about 10 times as much money as I am. I should be able to learn how to do that. Well, it didn't work out that way, but I sure gave it a good try. So anyway, this here painting, um, I was living in my car at the time at a truck stop, and I just, I really got tired of getting bossed around and other people telling me what to do, and I thought, well, that guy that did that pinstriping and stuff, there wasn't anybody told him what to do or when or how to do it. You know what I'm saying? It was like absolute total freedom. And man, I was chasing after that. So in an effort to try to accomplish that, I was just, like I said, living in my car. It was not fun or easy, that's for sure. But this painting here, I remember doing this. It was so fucking hot. I mean, it was blazing hot. And I was using an old abandoned building that they had there at the truck stop to do stuff like this in. And I'd never seen or heard of an orb before. I was just trying to, do something a little bit creative. So this is a acrylic on a piece of hardboard, and man, it sure does bring back some memories, I'll tell you. Anyway, this here, when I went to college, we had to do a grid, you know, take a famous artist's piece of artwork, pen and ink, and lay a grid on it and do a copy of it. I'm not sure if you recognize whose original artwork this is, but it's a copy of a Rembrandt. Pen and ink is what that is. And this here, um, I had a sighting that I reported to MUFON from where I'm at now. It was not a really big deal, but it was pretty amazing at the time. And a buddy of mine, I told him what I was just seeing out there, and he came out, and I was standing there yapping about what I just saw, and I'll be darned if the thing didn't come back. And we both saw it at that point. So it kind of inspired me to do a painting here, and I gave him that painting right there. And then I started doing stuff like, yes, of course, none of these are finished, really. I don't finish artwork very often. That way, if somebody gets real critical of it at me, then I can just say, oh, well, it's not finished yet. So I always got to, leave a way out because I had to do that in order to survive at times in my life. And this year, speaking of surviving, I got to get this one here done. This is oil on canvas. It's close to 4 feet wide, and I owe this guy close to $7,000. So this is what he's going to get when I get it finished. This here is just another out of focus painting that's not really finished yet. Oh, geez, what do we got here? Shapeshifter, I guess, right? That's oil on hardboard, I think. This here is oil on out of focus, of course. It's a drag getting old sometimes, I'm telling you. This is oil on canvas. It was stretched on on a frame, but I needed the wood in the frame, so I took it off of the frame. There's another one like this around here somewhere. Three more, I guess, actually, somewhere. I don't know where they're at, but hanging around the apartment somewhere. Just another unfinished painting. This reminds me of my kid. The painting doesn't really, but I keep wanting to say I'm cracking out of my egg because I was doing a home video one time, and I was just standing there at the sink washing dishes, and he was just a little guy at the time, and he he opened up the cupboard next to the sink and got inside the cupboard, and so I'm just standing there doing the dishes, and then pretty soon after a while the door pops open and he comes out. I'm cracking out of my egg. You'd have to be a parent, I guess, to get that one. It was fun. But that's a oil on canvas. It's about 4 foot, close to 4 feet tall there, but of course it's not finished either. This is another about 14 inches by close to 4 foot oil on canvas. Another oil on canvas about the same size. And I've been trying to teach myself how to do watercolors now because in this apartment I can't really do oil or acrylic because I'm so allergic to that stuff. I mean, I don't mind doing oil and acrylic paintings, but I got to be able to get away from it at some point. And in this apartment, I can't get away from it. So I'm trying to get myself to do watercolors. This here, this kind of gets my blood boiling here. I was in college, and there's a place called the Dayton Foundation, right? I'm not exactly sure all about it or whatever, but they came to us one day in art class, and they said they were going to have a contest for somebody to design a trophy for the Dayton Foundation that they would hand out every year to the most creative, person or person voted to be the most creative for that year or whatever. I don't know. So everybody was, making different maquettes. It's called, and I won the contest, and it was supposed to be a cradle of creativity, right? So this right here, I had designed this to be the actual cradle, right? And then this here part was to represent how things are created out of nothing, as they like to say. Like the universe was, there was nothing, and then all of a sudden there's a universe. So that's what this represented right here. And of course, this is not the final design, but this is the one I won the contest with. And these two here were to represent the Wright brothers and their contribution to creativity, right? And then these here were fingerprints of people that, you know, in this area that are creative. And of course, the buildings in this area were to be represented there. But long story short, I didn't get to finish it up and get it done the way I wanted it to be done. And there was a lot of political unrest between me and the people there at school. So everything kind of went downhill. So I don't want to go much farther into that. But anyway, these here are some pendants that I made. These are, I don't know if you know anything about ceramics or not, but I made molds and cast these in ceramic. This is a cone 6 clay. And these two here are bronze. I made some molds and cast a couple in bronze. It'd be kind of heavy to wear as a necklace, but whatever. And this is some one of the ceramic skulls. I was really on a roll there for a while, man, making these. This is back in, probably 97. I was making these skulls, man, one after the other. I really like working in 3 dimensions. And I much prefer working in 3 dimensions than working on paintings and drawings and stuff. And this one somebody bought, one of my classmates bought this one off of me. And these other ones here, I was making pods. I really enjoyed making these big old things. These were, I don't know, I just was really having a lot of fun making them. And this here, I did these over at, I don't know if you know where Yellow Springs, Ohio is, where Antioch College is. There is a place they have over there where you can go in and, agree to clean up once a week and then buy your own clay. And then you have to pay to have things fired in the kiln. And these are cone 10, which is kind of a high fire clay. There's my little logo on there. And I think I still got 1 or 2 of these left somewhere. I gave most of the rest of them away. But that's what I really enjoyed doing, was working in 3 dimension. And now I just kind of take photographs and stuff and on like that, right? So I'll get back to, I got a couple more real videos to share with you here that I was going back through my images and videos and photographs and stuff. And I went out last night and kind of got myself upset because I haven't been seeing anything lately, and I don't know if the powers that be have turned off the faucet and I'm not getting to see anything anymore, or what's going on. But when I do, I'll put some more images back up. But since I wasn't seeing anything last night, I thought, well, what the heck, I'll just, I had somebody unsubscribe yesterday, and it kind of, I get my feelings easy, I guess, so I was like, wham. So I figured, well, might as well chase a few more of them off. Well, anyway, y'all take care, and thanks for watching if you did, and I got a couple of good videos to put on here for you later on, so take care, and thanks for watching if you did. Appreciate it.